Hey everybody, what's up? You are tuning into Conversations with Courtney. Welcome to the podcast. I have a special guest with me today, Clavon Tramble. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Why are you laughing?
You said my whole name.
You don't want your whole name?
Oh, no, that's cool. I just wasn't expecting it.
He goes by Q.
It's cool.
You're one of the kind of people who doesn't like his whole government name.
No, I like my whole government name. I just don't usually hear my whole government name. That's all it is.
Okay. Why do you think friendships are essential?
I just think everybody needs friends. You know, there's some things that if you have a friend, some friends can see more of you than what you can see in yourself because they receiving what you giving them. Something like so yeah, it's many reasons why, but
Yeah.
I'm just going off of my friends. If I see something, and if you see as a problem, then I think believe you would tell me. Most importantly, what I've been experiencing with my friends I've been known for 10 plus years. Alex, it's one, mainly he just tell me um where what's my flaws, how can I correct them. Also, he lifts me up at times where I need the most. So he always been there for me. So any person I've called a friend, it started off, just relating to certain, to similar situations.
Okay.
And so yeah, and then we just grow from there. And one thing about me, I love, hearing other people's stories.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, see what I can gain from that, because you can gain a whole lot of things, from other people that had different life experiences.
Yeah.
And so our life experience is the complete opposite. So it just again understanding from where you come from and the different dynamics you grew up in. So I think that's a huge part of why we're friends.
It's different than it was 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. Social
Like,
media wasn't that strong 10 years ago, so people
true.
still have their own minds and they let people dictate how they should move because of what works for them. And that's a lot of what's going on. They listen to different podcasts and different people's
And see a lot of different things.
on
They're like,
social
I
media.
want you to do exactly this.
Yeah. So it's a bunch of it's just a bunch of nothing.
I can tell social media irritates you, doesn't it?
Yeah. And not even social media, it's people on social media that don't know how to critical think for themselves. And I'm huge on critical thinking. Because so if you don't know how to critical think, it's easy for you to manipulate your mind.
What kind of content out there on social media do you feel is causing people to lack critical thinking skills?
People are feeling like they need to go to therapy.
What's wrong with therapy?
Because everybody think they need to go to therapy.
Okay.
So in our community,
explain that.
in our I am in our community, it's like we the only ones that think that we need to go to therapy.
Okay.
In order for us to get better. It's like, you mean to tell me without therapy that I can't get better?
I don't think they're saying that though.
But I'm telling you, what I've been seeing a lot of times, a lot of people people can have I don't know, just a regular life experience, something that they're struggling with.
Okay.
And they will feel like, or somebody would tell them that, did you ever try to seek therapy? It's like, you never try to figure out yourself. And that's where the critical part come in at. Because if you can figure out what's the cause of whatever situation you're going through, then you won't have to pay another person or to go see another person to tell you about your life. If you paying close attention to what's been going on. A lot of people
don't agree with that though.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why I don't agree with that is because therapy is good for people who really need it. There are some people out there who don't have the family, the friend support that's needed. And with mental health issues at a high rate, I think it's important that people are going to therapy to fix themselves and to heal, but you also do have to do the work. Just like Dr. Analia Van Zandt said, you have to do the work, beloved.
Right. So again, there are people. So there are people that needs therapy. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that people go to therapy to avoid accountability because you can. So you right. You people need friends. People need family members to talk to. A lot of I do believe a lot of people have those people in their life
to avoid accountability, though. If anything, it would be to gain accountability.
No, but people avoid accountability. That's why nobody don't get better, and that's why people seek therapy to kind of escape that because you talking to a person that don't know you. So and I'm speaking from an experience, right, where I knew somebody that I knew that person's problem. And if I care about you, yo, this is where you messing up at. You need to fix that. That person would get an attitude. So that person will stop going to me and seek therapy from a person that don't know him. So that person end up or people just in general, not all, but people in general will go seek therapy, tell that person that don't know them a lie and just to make them feel better. Yes, that happens.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I don't think therapy is a bad thing. And two, I don't think you're saying that it's a bad thing. I do believe that therapists are there to help people solve their problems.
If they know the truth. If people
because you're saying therapy, that they're only getting one side.
Yes. If people go to an individual that I'm just gonna say therapy. If people go to therapy and tell them something that they don't want to necessarily take accountability, or they telling them half-ass stories, right? They're gonna give them half-ass solutions, or they're gonna give them a solution that don't necessarily apply to them. A lot of people do go to therapy because of that reason. I'm just speaking for those people, not everybody. But again, and that's avoiding accountability because that same person can have a good family member or can have a best friend that would tell them about themselves, but they don't want to hear it because they don't want to sit in that truth. So that's what and I'm coming from experience and just know a couple other people. It's like really, so your therapist said that, but in my head as I'm talking, I'm listening to him like that you could have been more
forthcoming,
but I ain't want to rain on her parade because she's telling me about something that's personal. So I never really spoke about it, but I'm like, okay, whatever. But and that's what gave me the thought of like, man, people go to therapy to avoid accountability. Yeah, I mean, you don't gotta. Of course, you don't gotta agree with it, but I just feel like if you looking at it in a more broad expectation, aspect, then you will more understand where I'm coming from. Because have you ever have do people go to therapy? Do people go to therapy and they still remain the same after a year, right?
After a year, if you're doing the work, you should be changed.
But a lot of people listen.
Or changing.
I've met, and I know a lot of people that been in therapy for the past 3 years. Nothing has changed. Nothing. What that tells you, if you know me, if I go to therapy, I've been in therapy for 4 years, right? And nothing really has changed. I might have my moments, whatever, or whatever, where I feel I can, act as if I changed, whatever. But there's not dramatic change because I'm still doing the same thing. Yeah. But I've been going to therapy for 4 years. What would that tell you? 4 years?
That it tells me that you probably have not really addressed the true issue.
There you go.
Yeah. But there's so much trauma that people have encountered. Hear me out, because we've always got to do a compare and contrast to any conversation, it may take a little bit of time for them to get to the root of the problem. That's just the reality for some people. Some people are able to be like, I'm going to tackle this head on, get it done. Like, for instance, there may be people out there in the world who their doctor says, if you change your diet, you can reverse this. But if they don't go to the root of the problem, which is their diet, and they eliminate certain things from their diet, are they going to heal?
No.
That's exactly what I'm trying to explain to you.
And I agree with you 100%. So if that person you know what to do, you know to change that diet, and you still not doing it, you just honestly don't care about it, and you know exactly what to do. So that goes.
But some people are afraid to rip that Band-Aid off.
Okay, that is a problem.
But that's what the therapist is there to help you.
And thank you. Right. So you clearly seeing that therapy is not for that individual that clearly that don't want necessarily fit. If, again, 3 to 4 years that they've been going to therapy, and they still, the therapist telling them exactly, okay, you telling me this, you telling me that. This is the root of the problem. I've been knowing you for 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, you still not changing. So it just again the lack of it's some form of lack of accountability there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, like now you agree with me. Because at first you said at first you said you didn't. You said you disagree with me. I said I like accountability.
I said,
and you said no. I just have to disagree.
I do disagree that, but
all right, cool.
I disagree with the theory that people go to therapy to avoid accountability. But I do believe that there are some people there who may not even recognize that there is a lack of accountability that they are not taking. For instance, hold on, let me say it like this.
Okay.
Like if a man cheats in a marriage and the woman goes to therapy, but she's not explaining her role, like she demeans him and, and granted, that is not something that's, a person can say like, she made me cheat. Nobody can make you do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
However, a person is not going to want to be with you if you're disrespecting them.
Right.
Okay. Now let's say she goes to therapy by herself.
Yeah.
And she's only rehashing the fact that my husband cheated.
Yeah.
Then there is a lack of accountability that she's choosing to take.
That's what I'm talking about. A lot of people do that.
A lot of people do that. So, but not all.
I'm not speaking for everybody because, again, it was at a place where people only went to therapy because they really needed it. They don't know what was going on. Most people go to therapy because of what happened, because of what another person done to them.
Yeah.
They're not going to address that person. I feel like if before you go to therapy, at least attempt to address that person. To have a better understanding, because
sometimes people don't have that option.
No, but a lot of nowadays, a lot of people do.
What if they're dead?
I'm not talking about that. Come on, let's be realistic. They are alive. They are easy to get to. How many people that go to therapy about another person and they dead?
A lot of people.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
a lot of people.
No, I'm not done though.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, and I truly believe most situations, because it's either their family members.
Yeah.
It's either best friends or people that they were once dated or was with for years. Instead of you going to that person, they would immediately seek therapy. And I think that's the wrong way to go if you want to go to therapy. So if I'm truly hurt by my father, right, I'm going to go to him and trying to have the conversation on why he did what he did or whatever the case may be. And if he's not telling me anything that's going to help me, I'm one of them might go to my mom because she was connected once upon a time. She was connected with him. You know what I'm saying? And if that don't help, if there's a grandma or whatever, I'm going to try to seek as much help outside of a therapist because these people are connected with this man.
I don't agree with that.
Of course,
they're not.
That's why people still be. Huh?
Okay.
But she's not him. What are you saying? The therapist's not him.
But why not go to a therapist who has the appropriate tools and resources to help you deal with your pain?
How does this?
Okay, what is your mama gonna say?
The mom, the woman, a bunch because she know him personally. The therapist don't. She can only tell me on what I'm telling her, and not that much because I barely know the man. But my mom, my grandmother, or my uncle know him personally for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, or however how long the man is. You know what I'm saying? Versus a woman that only gonna go off of what I know.
I understand that. I don't think
you do. If you disagree with it, I don't think you really understand where I'm coming from.
I understand that point, but there we go with the accountability part, because if your mom has a gripe with your dad and she's like only telling you what you want to hear, how are you going to grow out of that pain? A therapist is there to offer a neutral standpoint. If your mom is telling you only what you want to hear, how are you able to grow out of that pain?
I can go to my mom that was once with this man years before I was even born.
Yeah.
Right. That might give me some type of reason or belief why he treated me the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing personal that they had going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, but whatever that she ended up, experiencing when they was together, she probably can give me a little insight.
Mm-hmm.
I can go to my grandmama, which is his mom. Grandma, why, growing up, I mean, he treated me like this. Mm-hmm. What makes you think, why you think, he did what he did to me, since you've been doing him since he was a baby.
Yeah.
I can go to his brother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to reach out as many people that's truly connected with him before I go seek therapy. Most people nowadays would immediately just seek therapy.
But you already know that within our community, it's not, people sweep things under the rug. You know that, right? And yes. I think that's why a lot of people are going to therapy. And we've been told for years and years that we shouldn't go to therapy.
Nowadays, people just treat therapists like it's just something to do. Like a hobby. I truly believe people think, don't do enough self investigating. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They lack accountability. We lack accountability to the fullest. Mm. So our escape is going to therapy, going to see to an individual that we don't know to tell them what we want to believe, mm-hmm. so they can give us what we want to hear.
The answers that we
want to hear. Mm-hmm. But again, if people went in therapy, mm-hmm. Before they go into therapy, try their best to figure out what is what. Yeah. Then you go to therapy and you be 100% with them. Mm-hmm. Then I don't think nothing's wrong with that. But I don't think people does that at all. Most people, some people. I can't say most, but some people, a lot of people, I believe that they don't do that at all. That they treat therapy as just something to do or a hobby. Yep. Again, because there's no way you've been going to therapy for 3 to 4 years and you still exactly how you are when you went in. That's crazy. I'm not expecting for you to be 100%. Whatever your issue was. You a pro at that now. Mm-hmm. But if you still the same person, you still meeting the same kind of people, something is wrong with you. Stop wasting that person's time. They got other clients that they need to know.
I don't think it's a waste of time or resources if a person really feels that they need it.
A lot of people really feel like they don't need it. It's just something to do. That's why I said something to do. If they really need it, I agree with you 100% because that's what they need. People, what I hear, I don't think people really need therapy. People need to take accountability for their actions and for what they done. Yeah.
How do you unload?
Take accountability and talking to my friends.
That's like therapy, though, isn't it? Or is it not?
Yeah. But I'm glad you said that. So that's why I say it's many forms of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
People, but in our community, Black people immediately go see a therapist.
They don't.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They don't.
Every time we hear somebody having a issue or going through something in their life, some type of struggle, they immediately, hey, well, did you go see therapy? I feel like you should go talk to a therapist.
No,
Yes, it is.
that
Yes,
has
it is.
now just started.
No, I don't know.
Now just started.
You see, I don't think.
I want to say in 2020 it started becoming popular.
I feel like I would say I'll get around that time 19. I would say 19 since when I started to notice a lot of people been going to therapy. In 2021, 2022, I feel like that's when I start to feel like people start to looking at therapists as something to do.
Wait, so you're saying in 2019? Yeah, you said 19.
People, I've been 2019 is where I've been started to hear people going to therapy a lot. Oh, okay, cool. That's when that's good. That's real good. Whatever. Then about 2022, honestly, 2023, around that time, it's where I feel like people just start going to therapy just to do something.
I think we're going to go around in circles on this one.
I mean, we don't have to. We can stop talking about it now because you're going to believe what you believe. I'm going to believe what I believe. I'm honestly going off of what I've heard and how long I've been hearing it and the people that I know personally that went to therapy.
Do you have any male friends in your circle that go to therapy?
No. I mean, we pretty much we pretty because listen, my male friends, no offense, my male friends are literally mentally strong. So they find other ways to deal with their problem, whether it's talking to me, going on walks, going to the gym, eating properly. As a parent, as a dad, that really brings me so much joy. Joy really helps me and helps me out mentally. Yeah, joy helps me out mentally. With me, my boys, I will always think back when I was a kid in a relationship that me and my brothers had growing up. That mentally it helps me out a whole lot. Before you go to therapy, try to do your work by yourself because I mean that also is self development. I'm all about that too. Because if you got an issue with life and you can't just take a few weeks to see what's the problem and you immediately go to see a therapist to hold your hand, how can you be self-sufficient in any other way if you immediately go on to somebody else for your problems? You know
I just think that some people are probably just really hurt deep down inside.
Some people, I agree with that. Some people, a lot of people just avoid their problems.
Yeah, let's end it there.
Okay. I like this conversation.
Why?
Because I mean, I was more passionate. I love being passionate about something that I talk about.
Yeah. Well, whether you believe in therapy or not, do what's best for you.
Please.
And only you. Yes. Because you are responsible for your own happiness. I actually saw that this morning. Was it this morning or last night? Somewhere in my journal, I had written, you are responsible for your own happiness. And nobody else can really do the work.
No, they can contribute, but they can't do the work for you.
Because you can't really depend on anybody to make you feel good.
And that's what therapy is. That's what people go to right there. That's what people go to therapy. Some people go to therapy because of that. They depend on therapy to make them feel good. Yes, that's another way of how I look at therapy, or not therapy, but the people that go to therapy.
Yeah.
Because you are absolutely right. You cannot depend on somebody else.
Or some people go there to vent.
So you cannot depend on nobody else to make you feel good. You are responsible for how you supposed to feel. Again, the people that's around you can contribute in whatever ways that may fit, but
ultimately it's up to you.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, it's up to you to stay in the relationship or not. It's up to you to stay at the job or not. It's up to you to make the necessary changes in your life that make you happy.
Right.
I remember my dad telling me years ago, I was so unhappy at a job. He said, it's up to you. You're not a tree. You can move. You're not rooted in the ground. You can move to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
And I strongly believe that. And once I made the change, this was a decade or so ago, I was so happy. Mm-hmm. I was homesick because I was living in Ohio. I really didn't care for the job that I was at. I was at a news station. I was working odd hours and I just was so sad. And my dad was like, Courtney, it's up to you. You can make the change if you want to. You are not rooted to the ground like a tree.
Yeah.
So just know that if you are unhappy, dig deep within yourself to find out what is the problem. What's the problem? And if you can change it, change it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can change it. And I know that some people will say, well, it's complicated. I have a lot of, moving parts. But if you want your happiness and you want your joy, what?
I just thought about something else.
What? Say it.
So another reason why I believe people that don't need therapy is because of social media. So social media, people get on social media and they will listen to other people's problems.
Mm-hmm.
They will listen to other reels or shorts and that speak on how a therapy impact their life.
Mm-hmm.
And just because that worked for them and however they did
they
it,
think it'll work for them.
Yeah. That is that people do that a bunch, and not even just going to therapy, just in any other way. Mm-hmm. When it comes to helping them in whatever situation. It could be parenting. Mm-hmm. This person says she parenting this way, whatever, and they might think that it's going to work for their kids. It's like, no, I don't think.
You just don't think people do the work to figure out what works for them. Yes, but it's okay to feel inspired by things and make a change.
People don't. It's not even. People feeling inspired is like me hearing your story and me try to utilize it the best way it fits my story, right? Mm-hmm. But people, it's not inspiring if I take what you did that helps how whatever you were going through and utilizing in my life when we ain't going. Well, I didn't go through what you went through.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's not going to help me in no way because it's we two different people. We don't think alike. Our situation is different. Mm-hmm. So what helps you, could not help me. But it can inspire me if I,
and exactly like I'm saying, some people can say, "Look, let me see if this sticks
this is what I mean when I say you more of a beneficial, more of the benefit of the doubt kind of person. I'm more of I call it how I see it. What I'm talking about is I call it what I hear and what I see and experience. I'm calling it how I see it.
Okay,
that's exactly what that is. Cause I would hear them say, have you ever heard somebody talk about how they need help or they doing this and doing that to help themselves? And you are like, damn, I heard that before on a podcast. I heard it on an interview. You know how many times? No. I'm literally giving you a legit. I'm showing you that's exactly what happened. Yeah. Or it'll be a post. It will be a post on Facebook. Yeah. But in my head, I'm like, I want to say this so bad. I seen a post that said this 2 days ago. You know how many? It'd be 200. It'd be 20. It'd be 200,000 people that will share this post. Mm-hmm. I'm one of them. I read that post. I shared it. But you going I watched that interview. There was 5 million people. I was one of those views. Yeah. I saw what you saw. It's like, how can you just people do that? and making it seem, people do that, and that's lacking accountability.
I just think it's so funny because I have a Facebook friend. I literally will see a
That's ridiculous.
she'll literally take the post that I saw, like maybe by Trent Shelton or somebody, and she'll make it her own. And I'm like, girl, stop resharing just share the actual post.
Oh my God, man. And then write your own caption on how it fits your life.
Yeah.
But try to make it seem like you wrote this or you.
She does it to every. She does it almost
that's embarrassing. And again, that's lacking accountability. If you taking that and applying it in your life because it sounds good or it makes you feel good.
Right.
But that's not your story. That's another example of what I mean about people don't want to do the work themselves.
Yeah, that's true. Do the work. Like Analia Van Sant said, I know I say her name wrong. Dr. Ayana Van Sant says, you got to do the work, beloved.
Yeah.
I used to love her show.
Yeah.
Because it's true, you do have to do the work. Because if you don't, it's like if you fall and you don't clean out the wound, it won't heal right, or it might get infected.
No, it will remain infected.
Yeah. All right.
We don't see proper treatment, but yes.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I do appreciate you in my life as my friend.
Yes.
I know that there have been times that you've held me accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate it. I know you don't think I listen to you. I do listen to you, you know, and just like mouthwash.
Yeah.
I swish it around and I spit what doesn't apply out and I keep what does in. Yeah,
sometimes people just, if it don't feel good at that moment, they just not gonna apply it at all because it hurt them. But you know the truth hurts though. You know that, right? Once you know that, the truth do hurts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts. So yeah.
But you know, I do appreciate it because, you know, when you have friends in your life who tell you the truth, you can grow.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
You know, it might not feel good at the moment, but if you let that sting go and you say, okay,
a lot of people,
who's me? What's true? What's not true? What can I apply and what is not going to apply for me?
And a lot of people, unfortunately, cannot let that sting go.
Yeah.
So they more so will care about how they feel in the moment instead of what that person said.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I'm saying that on camera. I do appreciate you.
I know you do.
Yeah.
I appreciate you too. Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
If you have not, I know you hate this part because of last time.
If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. That's funny.
Guys, for real. Subscribe, but not just subscribe, like, comment, and share.
Yeah, you got it. You got it down pat.
I hate that.
I don't hate it. I just think it's just cliche.
I do want people to like it.
I know. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but it's just.
I do want people to hear these conversations.
Yeah.
Share with people they feel like can grow from it. And, you know, I feel like if you share something, then somebody else shares something.
Yeah.
Then somebody is tapping into their breakthrough.
That's true.
That's the way I look at it.
I agree.
So say it with me.
Since comment, subscribe.
You are so unserious, I swear. You guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. You know, this has been a really good, fruitful conversation.
Yeah,
and
I believe so.
No matter what I've said, what he said, it's all in love. And if you really feel like you need to go to therapy, go. There's no shame. You know, you don't even know this guy.
Right.
You don't even know me, for real. I mean, some of y'all might know me. But, you know, if they need to go to therapy, go. There's no shame in going to therapy.
Yeah.
I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Courtney. It's been real.